Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. It's your place for helpful news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions. I'm your host, Evan Mann, and I'll be joined shortly by my colleague, Mr. Alex Popovich, and hopefully also Mr. Will Watson. And who knows what else might happen as we delve into the Web3 world. We're taking you behind the scenes of cryptocurrency from our perspective as longtime investors. Weird to say a long time when we're talking about just a couple of years. It's a nascent industry. There are lots of questions people have about crypto, about Bitcoin, about mining, about technology at the foundation of the future internet. And we want to help you get up to speed. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to worry that you're going to ask a dumb question. We want to break it down into bite-sized bits so that you can get right here with us, know what we know, learn what we know, and, have a lot of fun here. Because despite what you may have heard about the scams and schemes, which, let's be frank, are a problem, this is an awesome industry. There are lots of opportunities for everyday people just like us to start owning what is truly ours on the internet. Right, Alex? It's not so bad once you get past all the crap. How you doing, man?
Oh, good.
Wow, that's 4 goods? Are you really? That's wonderful.
Hello.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Oh, much better now. I'm sorry I don't have a unicorn emoji for your Discord handle.
No.
Isn't that so sad?
It is sad. Why did they not think of this?
I don't know. We could do it. The thing I worry about is we'd need to get a real nice custom unicorn because anybody can add just a little emoji to their name. So maybe Alex, as the server owner, can work up some wizardry for us. Alex, I don't know if you saw that, but it was a real good suggestion by our friend Rocket Man to add some little badges to distinguish us as admins. I was thinking maybe you could hook us up with those TFM rainbow joints because, if unicorns are up here, rainbow badge has got to be at least a number 3 or 4 is how I feel about it.
I certainly can, but we need to boost the server. And I'm just for context, I currently pay about $200 a year for the amount of boosts that I have in Discord Nitro. So I need someone else to grab a couple.
Alex, I have done custom icons as the server owner before. Like if you'll notice, the Premium Plus users have a little gold morning show ghoul by their names. And people who get premium through Patreon will have a little silver ghoul. You should, at the current level, be able to change the icons. And if you can't just send the ownership of the server back to me, you schlub.
You could also ask the community, like, does anybody please have some boosts for the channel?
That's right, Will, man. Let me shout you out because when everybody started joining yesterday, I was right there with Alex. I was like, man, I wonder what's going on. And I saw Discord upped our perms and made it a little tighter. I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. But I did not know it was you putting the full might of a TikTok video to open the gates. Way to go, man. Thanks for inviting so many people to the server. I hope that they
it only had it was interesting. So I think about this because I've been in sales my entire life, so I think about conversion ratio.
Yeah.
And for like prospecting messages and shit like that, that was prospecting. But the video had I think it has 2,800 views. It's pretty low. It's like half the views of what one of my low videos get. It's pretty low for me. But we had I don't know, I feel like we had 80 people join, which let's see, what typically your conversion in prospecting is 1 out of every 100. So we multiplied that by a ratio of 4. So it was oh sweet, a lot of people really trust us. That's great. I love that. And they see value in it, which is cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a feather in your cap, man. I'm really.
Well, I just made another one. Put it out there. Mainly a different spin because I was I feel really bad because I can't get into everybody's comments. Oh, Alex, don't rug me this time.
Listen to me.
Don't rug me this time.
You strong chin son of a bitch. This guy over here puts out this video. I don't check, believe it or not, I don't check Will's TikTok feed every couple hours. And
How dare
And all of
you.
a sudden, like, 30 people join the server all at once, and auto mod kicks off, and it's like, hey, something's sus going on. What do you want to do? And I look at all these people, and every single one of them has an unknown join method. I'm like, okay, so I just shut everything down. And I tell everyone, including Will, what I've done. And he's like, sounds good. And apparently had also replied to me in general chat, but didn't tag me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here.
I was like, oh shit, like maybe I brought in like some robots or something, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
Hour and a half goes by of me just like digging through the mod logs and everything, trying to figure out where these people came from and how they got this link and who they are and audit profiles. And I'm like, these all look like normal people. This is the most this is the most intricate raid I've ever seen. So I turn everything, or I, go back in and finally realize like, oh, it was literally Will. And he's like, yeah, it was me. And I'm like, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm sorry. You should have gone in general chat and seen my Sparky robot.
We figured it out in the end.
Yeah. Well, there's another one that's out because I feel genuinely bad when it's like hard for me to get to everybody's comments now. And I like spend a good amount of time trying to get to everybody's comments. But now I'm at like only being able to hit like 70 or 80%. I know it's only going to get worse. And the amount of robots that have hit me ever since I hit 20K is nuts. It's such a drastic increase in robots. And so I just put out a video that was like, hey, if you're asking me questions in the comment section, I haven't gotten to you in 2 videos, like head to the Discord and give Alex a heart attack.
A drastic increase in robots sounds like a banger album from like Daft Punk or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Man.
Yeah.
There you go.
That phrase has ever been uttered in the English language.
Peep the server now.
Well, I'm peeping. What am I peeping for?
Verified.
Oh,
let me know because I'm at my other desk, which doesn't have my.
All right, I'll show you. And this seems like as good a time as any to give a commercial. If you are not yet there, check this out, Will. Oh, my phone's going to do the weird. Look at my little, it's a little check mark.
Oh, yes.
This inside a little rainbow badge. It's fantastic.
I love that.
So, thank you, Alex, very much. I appreciate it. If you are not in the Discord server yet, I think most of our friends here are in the Discord server, but that's where the Rise Up Morning Show lives 24/7. If you've got a crypto question, if you want to participate in member-only streams, and if you're a premium or premium plus member, that's the place where you can go to get your discount links for live courses, for coachings. It's the best place to go to be connected to the show. And you can find the link to the Discord at all of our profiles and at the riseupmorningshow.com. Because we're only live 4 days a week, but we're there all the time.
Sorry. And I was going to say, and you can find out where to buy great Star Wars shirts like this.
That's
you can
the alpha, people.
Ask me. I'll tell you. It's the real alpha. It's the stuff to spend your money on once you sell your altcoins.
Okay, so I had a question for you, Will. And somebody already asked it in the chat. Last night I was having a conversation. I'm just hitting you right away. I was having a conversation about layer 1 tokens, coins, and DEXs, decentralized exchanges. And by the way, let me say again, if you're new to crypto and you're coming here to learn about it and we're throwing around some inside jargon that you don't understand, please call us out. Please ask someone in the chat. We'll get you up to speed. We want to make sure that we're not speaking past you. But it gets easy to throw the acronyms out real quick. So your favorite cryptocurrency is probably the coin, meaning the piece of data that is used to pay for transactions on a network like Bitcoin. All these blockchains, they're different networks. Ethereum is a network whose coin is Ether. Coins in this regard are different than tokens. They can be mined. They are used to pay for transactions on a network. But then there are also tokens. Tokens can have a variety of properties that distinguish them from each other, fungible, non-fungible. Most of your favorite cryptocurrencies that you read about, all your meme coins, whatever you hear about on crypto, TikTok, and elsewhere, these are tokens. They may live on many different blockchain networks. And one function tokens have is to provide liquidity. They can represent money. And on every network, there are exchanges that you can think of the way you think of currency exchanges at an airport. When you go to France, if you're from the United States, you got to trade your dollars for euros. This is an exchange. Similarly, cryptocurrency networks have exchanges. And when we talk about investments, it's pretty easy to see why a coin, the token for a network, would be a good investment, because if a lot of people use a network, they would probably need a token. But another important role that these ecosystems have is decentralized exchanges have their own tokens so that they can cover the liquidity to do all this swapping that happens when people want to join a network. So now that you're caught up, Will, as our resident expert on Arrow, I was wondering if you'd talk about the tokenomics a little, because I know you have said that there are concerns people ask about. I think there's some supply concern. Is Arrow the one with the unlimited supply? And I have heard you say that it is not a concern for you personally. And I wanted to ask, can you shed some light on that? Because I hold a little bit of Arrow, but I bought it because I'm a big DEX guy. If there's an ecosystem like Base that has a lot of attention, I want to buy the token. But I haven't done the deep dive. So can you give us the update? Because I know we'll have at least 2 or 3 of those questions. I had one last night and didn't have a good answer.
Yeah, so you're correct in that Aerodrome has an unlimited supply. So does Immutable X. So does Beam. So do a lot of really good coins, right? But here's the thing. The only time to really be worried about an unlimited supply for a token is if their, let's say, monthly issuance of supply is super high, like really high. I'm talking like 10% or more a month. Like that's a lot of pressure for bulls to come in and buy. So you would need something that would have like crazy adoption levels to overcome that. Okay, but like that's not an issue for like an Immutable X or an Aerodrome. Now, I'm not concerned about Aerodrome specifically, its unlimited supply, for a couple of reasons. The first one is adoption. If you have something that has an unlimited or very high supply or an aggressive vesting schedule, right? Any scenario works. If you have demand for the use of the platform and therefore the coin, assuming that you need the coin to do some things or there's some benefit to have the coin, the increase in demand will outweigh the increase in supply, usually to a wide margin, but only for top tier coins. Aerodrome is a top tier coin. The reason why Aerodrome is a top tier coin is because it is the most important piece of infrastructure for Base other than what Base itself is built off of, right? And Base is going to have an explosion of growth because it's Coinbase's baby, and Coinbase needs Aerodrome. Coinbase will ensure that Aerodrome is successful in every single way possible. So you have Coinbase and Larry Fink, Big Brother, ensuring that Base and therefore Aerodrome will be successful. You also have a huge increase in demand of people who are looking to get and use Aerodrome, and people will get the Aerodrome token and stake it because the staking rewards are crazy, or you can get Aerodrome and take it to Moonwell, a lending protocol on Base, and you can get some crazy returns. Or you could even take it to Extra Finance and get crazier returns, but that's using leverage. Leverage can be scary. I would say stay away from it, particularly if you're new. So there are a lot of like good use cases for Aerodrome that exist within Aerodrome, but also outside of Aerodrome. The other thing too to think about when you have a token with an unlimited supply is you need a strong community and a lot of hype online to drive demand to scoop up that increase in supply. Aerodrome has that also, because ever since I started talking about it last November, we've had an explosion of other creators like 4 or 5, 6 months after me talking about it. Anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought. But, you know, we now have all these content creators who it's on their radar screen. They're pushing it to people. Everyone knows about Aerodrome right now, which is one of the reasons why Aerodrome at I forget what market cap it's at, but it's at a pretty good sized market cap right now, like multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. It was able to go up in percent by like, what? I think it went from 40% to like 75 cents at the height of this recent little bump, or 71%. So, you know, basically like a 70, 80% rise, which is so much higher than most other coins at a much smaller market cap. And the reason why is because it has hype. It's on people's radar screen. So even though it's a bigger market cap, it got bigger percentage gains because it's seen as a leader and it has all those other things going on. So for all those reasons, community and hype online, people actually want the Aerodrome token to use it. and there should be an explosion of additional growth in money flooding into the aerodrome system, are all reasons that outweigh any concern that I have about its unlimited supply. And my final thought is, it is not a concern of mine now, but it could be a concern of mine in the next bull run, because there will be a lot more supply in the market come 2 years from now when we're at the bottom of the bear market, and you're going to have a lot of salty bag holders. It's going to create a more repressive environment for dramatic price improvement, but that's 2 to 3 to 4 years down the line that we have to worry about for aerodrome. That is not right now.
Good to know. And of course, all of that could be driven by internal changes. There could be competition. There is some competition, but there's not a ton. And especially as base continues to develop, I would expect it to be a great place for more competition for crypto. Would you guys agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I expect other decentralized exchanges to pop up too. I mean, we have Alien Base right now, but their TVL is pennies. Their volume is so small in comparison to Aerodrome. I will say Alien Base's user experience is better. They're just like the interface, it's better. They have some additional, like, at least I saw online some people claiming that it has like some additional features that they really, really like and that aren't available on Aerodrome, but I haven't looked into it yet. So just do your own research on that. But I could see Alien Base's value go up. I could see its TVL and user go up because of that, but it's not going to unseat Aerodrome, which is why I don't own it.
And real quick, if you are concerned about like, wait, he said TVL, total value is no, it's okay, man. Listen, my sensor is on high alert because of the conversations we've been having recently. I'm like, oh man, we have so many acronyms. My recommendation to you is to check out a website called defilama.com. This should be in your crypto toolkit. Super easy dashboard where you can go and see chains, all at once or on their own. You can see how much money is pledged, locked, allocated to different lending protocols in each of these different blockchain networks we've talked about, or in crypto as a whole. And this is like the key metric. How much money and attention is there is what you're trying to figure out. And TVL is a pretty good representation of that. Generally speaking, for decentralized exchange protocols, Aerodrome on Base Network has the most TVL, 624 million.
Volume by it has like 85% of the volume on Base. It's crazy. Yeah,
it's also got a tremendous amount of the volume. For comparison, it is the TVL outpaces Uniswap at about a 2.5 to 1 ratio, and Uniswap is the largest decentralized exchange in our space. If you add up all the different versions by TVL, so people could be buying their Base on Uniswap or their Base tokens on Uniswap, but Aerodrome is where they are choosing to do it.
Wait, hold on. The way that you just said that, Evan, makes it sound like you're saying that Aerodrome's TVL is 2.5 times the size of Uniswap's TVL.
No, specifically regarding the value of assets that are on the Base network on Aerodrome versus the Uniswap supports many networks.
Yes.
On the Base network, they have a fraction of the assets locked.
Okay.
So,
I was going to say, because Uniswap's got almost 6 billion in TVL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uniswap is a much bigger DEX, but in terms of the assets they have locked that are on the Base network.
Something else just interesting about Aerodrome. So, Will, you were really close. The market cap is 560 million right now. And
whoa. What? I just looked and I thought it was like 50 million. Did I read it wrong?
No, it's multiple hundreds of millions. Alex is definitely.
It's 560.
Okay.
And interestingly, TVL is pretty close to that, 515 million, which is also interesting because monthly trading volume is 512 million. And if you want to talk, so one of the things we point out is that lots and lots of projects don't really generate much revenue. DEXs are one of the few that have a revenue stream that is not dependent on just, you know, their own hype, but also the hype of everything. It's the whole, you know, would you rather sell a shovel kind of analogy. Aerodrome is generating roughly $13 million a month in fees.
Delicious.
Which is, I don't know this, so somebody please like fact check me if you know a figure off the top of your head. Drop one in the chat because I'm super curious. I'm going to try to figure this out. I would hazard a guess that that's going to go toe to toe with most things in terms of revenue. Now, the caveat would be I'm sure that Uniswaps is absolutely fucking monstrous. So that's the one I'm going to try to look up here next. I do not expect, to be abundantly clear, I do not expect, Chog, I don't expect this to overtake Uniswap anytime soon. Uniswap is a titan and they cover base.
Yeah,
I don't think it ever will.
Were to happen,
yeah, it's like umbrella rules. Uniswap supports 21 different chains. They have hundreds of employees, and their focus is to be the leading decentralized exchange for all of us. But this is like a niche specific. These guys want to own base. That's what they want to do. You know what I mean? It's the difference between buying your shoes from Nike and buying your shoes from a guy who makes them. That was a terrible analogy, but you get it.
Yeah, I would just say like if there ever is Aerodrome flipping Uniswap in any way, it would just be like, I don't know, like volume on Ethereum, and if that were to ever happen, it would probably take another entire crypto bull cycle. So like 5 years, you know, if anything like that were to happen. Not this cycle.
Are you familiar with the incentives right now in terms of within the base ecosystem? We're talking about expansion. Something people will do. Angel's mentioning airdrops in the comments, and I want to come to your question in a second, Angel, because it's very specific. Before we get off the base Aero talk, let's talk about the strategy of as an ecosystem grows, you might take a token like Aero, and you might choose to stake it on their platform or do DeFi stuff with it on their platform. But you might also choose to stake it somewhere else, like a Moonwell or an Extra if they offer those services, because you might want to build on-chain reputation using many different protocols. The same way you would shop at different businesses to get rewards from all those businesses, you might choose to stake or leverage or lend or whatever with a different service provider because of the incentives that they offer you. So, Will, are you hip to any? I honestly, beyond Aero, I don't do anything. I'd
have to look it up because I haven't done it yet either. Although I keep telling myself I should take some of it and like lend it out on Moonwell. The reason why I wouldn't stake it on Aerodrome is because of the lockup period, and I do not like long lockup periods. I like to be able to move my stuff around quickly. So that's what I've been meant to explore, but it keeps just like, it's like a thought that it is like loose and covered in oil.
Yeah. Let's go around and talk about what some of those considerations might, like if you were somebody who was curious, you got a DEX token or you got a token, you know, layer one token, whatever, you got Ether or Bitcoin or something, Solana, and you want to do DeFi stuff with it. You want to stake it somewhere. What are some of the things you would look for? You'd look up like who's got the best yield percentage. I would want to know who as a platform maybe has behind that yield percentage the most like proof in their pudding. I wouldn't want to go to a brand new baby exchange that has no money or attention because I'd be worried that they're going to fold. I'd be worried about lockup periods. Angel mentions vesting if you just received an airdrop or something like that. But I want to know what you guys think. Like, how do you evaluate? Here's where I'm going to do DeFi stuff with my money.
Yeah, I pretty much just go and I think like, okay, cool. Like, what's the biggest version? With Aerodrome, I wouldn't stake the Aerodrome because of the lockup period. And I don't like lockup periods because I like to be able to move my money when and if I need to. Because like, what if something goes wrong and the market's at the top and I'm locked up for another 4 months and I miss the opportunity to sell it? Like, all that stuff is too much for me. So I would look to take it to a lending protocol. And like Moonwell, I would have to look to see like if there is any kind of delay in you being able to get your money back once you lend it out to people to earn interest off of it. But looking at a lending protocol, I would just go and look to see like, cool, like how long has this protocol been around? Is it big? Because that is a bit of a proof point that like, okay, cool, it's already been attacked most likely, or attempts of attacks have been made and it's withstood. So this is probably safer. You want to go to something, I don't really look at who has the biggest yield, because that's usually like a trap that will bring you to a less safe platform. Because the reason why you're going to get a bigger yield on something is because they have lower liquidity and they're trying to attract liquidity in by offering like 80% APY if you lend here or whatever, right? Case example. But then like they can lose liquidity and you could like lose your money, or maybe they're a really young platform usually in that case, hence why they don't have a lot of liquidity, and they're not tested by people trying to hack them. And then one day there's a hack, and then like the entire system goes down and your money was stolen, blah, 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 blah. So like I don't look for the highest yield. I look for the safest platform that's been around for the longest, that has the most liquidity, that I can trust. And then I only put a little bit, a little tiny dash, a little something of my bag into it to earn interest. That's the biggest thing. Because the worst thing in the world.
Zoom in on that liquidity bit and that APR bit, because I feel like this is something a lot of people get hung up on in a way that bites them, especially when they're new, but even when they're old. And Alex, I wonder if you would talk about this, and I know you've been looking different places, so let me read you in. You just got on your new favorite exchange. You got some Arrow token or whatever. You got some Sol. I don't know. You got a token you like. You want to stake it because you're going to hold it for a while. And you see that this platform has an 80% annual yield. You're like, wow, that's incredible. There's another one that's got 8%. There's another one that's got 8,000%. And you're like, oh, let me get my money in there. I'm early. This is a great opportunity. And Will had mentioned, that's risky because they probably don't have as much liquidity. But can you like just slow it down and unpack it and tease it out and maybe use a real world example if you remember one off the top of your head where you've seen that happen and why it's almost never as good as it seems? Yeah,
I mean, to quote Jeff the Dunker, if you want to play in the Ponzi's, you gotta be super fast. So I would treat those high APYs just like a meme coin, and it really depends what they're giving it to you in. Like if I'm trying to find a place to stick my Sol and I find something that's offering me 8,000% in Sol, then yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to give it a shot, but I'm going to watch it like a hawk because that thing's going to go bankrupt in like 30 minutes. And then, they're going to start doing shady shit like stealing stuff that's locked with them or doing some weird garbage, or the whole thing's just going to go down, or your stuff's going to get locked up forever and you're going to have another BlockFi Celsius type situation.
Another Syncastyle. Yep. Exactly. Or all those other ones.
So we've seen time and time again insane APYs. And right now we're definitely like, that was totally a narrative last bull run. I'm sure you guys remember the, stake this here and earn, a gajillion % in whatever token. So you weren't earning it in the thing you staked. You had Solana and you wanted to put it somewhere and they were going to pay you in, garbage token. And they were going to pay you at a rate of 20 million % interest on your garbage token, paid out every 10 seconds or something ludicrous. And yeah, you could totally do that. Go farm it for a couple hours, make some money, dump those tokens ASAP, and leave because it was just a Ponzi farm. I would look for stuff with a track record and stuff with lower. I don't know. Just think about. I guess I would probably compare it to a standard high yield savings account in traditional finance, and then just kind of go up a little bit from there, understanding that a Web3 protocol might just agree to take a smaller cut, which could increase the fee. So like Coinbase's 5.15% on USDC automatic yield is pretty good. It's over 5. It's between 5 and 6. I think it's less than 5.5, but
way more than your savings account.
Yeah, I mean, for perspective, my USAA savings account, I think, offers me a staggering, and hold on to your butts, 0.015%.
Yeah. So we're talking for what, every $1,000 you invest, you get $1.25 a year. Did I do that right?
Okay, well then actually it's probably lower because
might be every $10,000 you get that.
Yes, that sounds about right.
That's pretty commensurate for most banks.
To the defense of the traditional banking industry, though, which is a sentence I don't say very often at all, you can very easily get a high yield savings account that offers between 4.5% to 5.5%. So that's an option for you if you want to keep it in cash as opposed to a stable. But, you know, the USDC is really nice. I'm definitely thinking about taking some of my money once I sell and keeping it right in USDC, just earning on Coinbase, and then the rest high yield savings account.
I would say Will is absolutely correct, but there is one very important difference, and that is that if I wanted to earn, you know, between 4 and 8% in a high yield savings account with a traditional bank versus earning 5 point something% with USDC on Coinbase, I need an email address for Coinbase, and I need a lot more than an email address to open a high yield savings account with a bank and then deposit money into it. Whereas
less for a decentralized exchange, like bank account, they want a lot. Coinbase, they want some, and then Uniswap, they're just happy to see you for the most part. And then if you go to, you know, Elon Sushi Burger Swap, they're like, oh my God, you're here. Here's 1,000%, but they don't have anything else to offer you.
One of the things that I've adjusted this go around, and actually, I just saw a tweet that I plan on lightly roasting later, just because it's kind of gatekeepy and obnoxious. It just says, if you're a serious crypto user, you should be fully on-chain and only using centralized exchanges for on-off ramps. And I'm like, nah, bitch. I'm going to use whatever tools I have available to me to capitalize on this kind of stuff. Because, like, I'll tell you right now, do you know how nice it is to this go-around, like, take profits on stuff using Coinbase as my on-off ramp and just not even feel that upset because every time I'm holding USDC for a while, I'm just, like, casually earning interest on it.
Making money. Yeah, it's nice. It's great.
So that's so much better than last time when I would just like let it sit in a MetaMask and then not really want to move it around or not want to do anything else with it, you know, and certainly not putting the whole bag on it here.
It's almost like it's by design by Coinbase to keep our money in their platform. Oh my God.
Almost like someone's paying attention to our
God, it's almost ways. Like a for-profit, publicly traded company whose first priority is to increasing shareholder value. Almost.
So the TLDR on that though is like, you know, you're making a trade-off of benefit, opportunity, like upside potential to security. I would say is the trade-off there. If the APR APY is low, it's because Uniswap, you know, they are a super trusted, secure platform who has a ton of liquidity. The incentive is not as high for them to pay you a lot of money to give them your tokens because they just don't, they're not as thirsty. A new Sushi Burger Elon Swap platform, they are thirsty and they will do whatever it takes to get a sweet slice of that liquidity. And where do they get it? They get it from you. But the risk, of course, is that tomorrow they don't exist. That
you can also, sorry, Adam.
No, go ahead. That's it.
I would definitely say too, look for one concern that I have with Arrow, although they've now added one notch to their belt. I know it. William, hold on to your chin. Is just that I really want to see, you know, stuff. Concern is a strong word, but something I'm waiting for before I'm like, you know, more full send, is being tested with some, you know, some trials. Like, for example, Uniswap has been through the ringer for a while, right? Like we've been through full bear markets with them in full operation, continuing to do stuff. I did find a number, by the way, on the low end, their annual fee generation at this point is $500 million. And on the high end, it's going to be closer to 1.3 billion. No, this is Uniswap's fees. Uniswap's revenue is probably going to cross $1 billion this year based on current trends so far. They're generating on average $100 million a month in fees. But we've been through bear markets. We've been through multiple black swans. Uniswap got served with a Wells notice from the SEC, and they just kept on. They were like, okay, what was that? Shoo, fly, and just kept going. And Aerodrome, I think, had their first, you know, baby trial and tribulation with a pretty significant price drop and managed to continue accumulating users and generating revenue, and then have now started to bounce back. So that's a good sign. I want to see, you know, more of their feet being held to the fire and then watching them come through it, because that's the mark of a, you know, a DEX that's like been tested.
Do you know what Coinbase's Q1 revenue was? and I don't know what percentage of this is fees, but I do know it's a big percent, is it was 1.6 billion Q1. It was a 72% increase over Q4 last year.
Yeah, Brad, I don't know, Brad, if you're in the chat right now, but Brad Burkholder, one of our regulars, was in one of my comments the other day, just saying that it was my Coinbase video, my on-chain summer video, and he just said that he bought Coinbase stock at like $39. Yeah. And for context, it's currently trading at 250.
You know who else did? I'm pretty sure is Kimberly. I think Kimberly has Coinbase stock that she got on the cheap. So there you go, baby.
Oh, have you guys taken a look at the comparison between MicroStrategy's stock and the performance of Bitcoin? I don't know if you guys have looked at this.
No, but MicroStrategy was one of the last stocks I sold when I moved all into crypto, and this is years ago, and at that point was up. It was like the Nvidia of its time. Give us the numbers.
Over the past year, it has outperformed Bitcoin by about 120%.
I wish I'd never sold it.
Yeah.
I was up thousands of percent. I was like, this is, I mean, of course it's going to be good, but it's done. It's done ripping. I was so wrong.
So
yeah.
I want to address a question real quick from Angel, who asked it a while ago, and I'd like you guys to give me some color. There are a lot of people in our audience who talked a while back about the super airdrop. If you're not familiar with airdrops, this is where you do stuff to engage with a cryptocurrency, a company, a platform. They keep track of that activity, and then they reward you with tokens. It's one way that crypto companies put their tokens into the system. There are benefits and drawbacks to releasing tokens this way in terms of how good it is for you. Sometimes it's different. How good it is for companies, and how compliant it is, depending on how they talk about it. This is a pretty well done airdrop in terms of incentivizing everyday people like us to come to their platform and then tell the story of what they're doing. It was pretty novel, good user experience. But now they've got this airdrop that, I just navigated away from it. Where did it go? Basically, the terms of the airdrop are that you can receive your tokens two ways, and Angel was curious about this. You can either have your airdrop tokens delegated, 10% will be unlocked to you, and the remaining 90% will be fully unlocked after 15 months. Like, you get 10, and 15 months from now, you get the rest. Option two is you can vest them. And vesting means you get a little bit released all through a certain period of time. But the vesting period is 30 months. You get 10%, and then every month we'll give you 3% more. And I would say, you know, if you're trying to analyze what should I do, the question is, how soon do you want the ability to react to the market? You're getting 10% either way right up front. But in scenario one, you don't get to react to the market for 15 months, which is, you know, it's more than a year. That's a long time. In scenario two, you only get 3% every month. You don't get all of it for more than almost 3 years. But you can react a little bit at a time. If that token starts dumping and you're like, man, this is a terrible investment, I got to get the hell out of there, you can sell 3% at a time a little quicker than you can in this scenario. You can sell more sooner with this one. If you believe in the project long term, it's hard to build conviction though in an Oracle, in an airdrop, in anything like that that's new or that's crypto. So, but those are your options. And I don't know if you guys have more color with your experience. I have never received an airdrop that gave me the option to delegate or vest. I've only had that option with like people paying me as an advisor or for my services, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've never had that either. I've always just had it be an airdrop that just like, you know, you go and you claim, it's in your wallet. So I don't really have any experience with it.
Angel says, so the 15 months option is better. I would probably choose the 15-month option personally if I believed that the platform's token was likely to go up in value. I would probably choose the vesting option if I wanted the ability to move more of my money sooner. If I didn't have conviction, I would probably choose the vesting option because I'd be able to sell more sooner.
Any altcoin, sorry, Alex, I rugged you. But for any altcoin, I would choose the fastest option to get your money possible, particularly because we are a little bit past the midway point of this bull cycle. Best case scenario, we have until December of 2025, best case scenario. If you're looking at being given your cryptos back in 15 months, that does not really give you a lot of time to be in a position to try to sell the top of the market at like the best case, in my personal opinion, in the best case scenario of like how long the bull market can last. I would always want to get my money back as soon as possible at this point in the bull market to be ready to sell immediately if need be as soon as I got it. My personal opinion.
Yeah. And hey, Varm, I answered your comment a little while back. I'm Evan, by the way, the guy you see in the chat. I'm so sorry you missed all the like in-depth arrow talk, but the short answer for why it doesn't have a market cap is because it doesn't have a limited supply. It's got an unlimited supply. If you want to hear Will talk about why he's not concerned about that, I'll tell you the alpha is all these streams go to YouTube. Every week, if you miss a show, you can catch them on YouTube at Faceless_Labs. You can join us in the Discord. We get questions about Arrow a lot. So the odds are we will talk about this again. But the TLDR is you can go to DeFi Llama to see the market cap that is available for Arrow's current supply. And a bunch of other metrics too. The show is not sponsored by DeFi Llama, but it could be.
Should be.
Or CoinGecko. Or, you know.
Yeah, or CoinGecko or Coinbase. Where are you guys at? We are making you look good. Uniswap? Are you listening?
We can just summarize this. This show is not sponsored, but it should be.
But we do have some exciting potential partnerships in the works. We're building relationships with different people in the crypto space. You are the most important part, though. When you like our show by tapping the screen, when you share our show with your friends and family, when you talk about our show, when you come and ask us your questions, when you join the Discord, join the newsletter, all of that stuff helps us go to sponsors and say, hey, pay us the money we deserve so that our community can get more cool stuff for free. You are a vital part of it. So thank you. Thank you for being you. Okay, did I miss something? Let me see.
Oh, I just tried to reply to Chog, but my full thoughts, I couldn't type. So Chog's question is, you said we're halfway through. I heard this run will be expedited. Thoughts on that? So what I was trying to type to you, Chog, is that the idea that this bull run will end sooner than the others is a possibility for sure. I've highlighted in videos some issues that could arise largely via unrealized losses in the middle-sized banking sector in the US. The Chinese economy is looking shaky, although they just started printing a ton of money, which is great. So we'll see how long they can extend out their problems. So there's some headwinds. Rising global tensions, right? These are all things that could cause a bull market to end sooner, right? Like maybe like the springtime of 2025, say. But the 4-year cycle is correct until proven otherwise. That is why it is what I lean towards as what I think is going to be true, which is top between June to December of 2025. And also, with interest rate cuts happening, the problem with the unrealized losses in the banks will start reducing. And so that'll become less of an issue. The problem, though, is that the effects of interest rates being held higher for longer are long lasting. And you don't feel the relief in an economy once interest rates start getting cut, potentially for a while, like 6 to 9 months minimum, right?
Yeah, it's
like
a lagging feeling.
Yeah, and Jerome Powell and the Fed are only going to cut interest rates probably by 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, in the most bullish scenario once a month. But that still means that interest rates are going to be high for a while. They're just going to be reducing. And so the effect of high interest rates could still really break some things in the market, which could cause the bull run to end sooner. But I'm still planning on the 4-year cycle because we're not in a recession right now. Interest rates coming down is a big addition of liquidity for markets across the world. Liquidity is just money floating in the system that can be invested in stuff like Bitcoin. However, this is my final thought, I am definitely selling more aggressively for the possibility of our market ending sooner, which, as I've stated on the channel, is I'm going to have an automatic sell of 5% in my altcoins the beginning of every month. And if I start to see some top indicators, one of the ones that are my favorite is looking to see if the RSI, which is an indicator you can put on your chart, on your trading chart, like on tradingview.com, on the monthly time frame is at a level of overbought that is at 80, that's 80. When you hover on the RSI, you'll see a number on the right, is at 80. If you are at 80 on the RSI on the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, you have 2 months, maybe 3, but 2 months before the top of Bitcoin hits. And then you got about 2 months and 3 weeks until about the top of altcoins hit. So like that's what I'm looking for. I'll have my automatic sell to just start pulling things off the market slowly. And if I get that indicator on the monthly time frame, you bet your ass I'm pulling off like 25% of my bags like every 3 weeks. You know, so that's what I'm thinking. Those are my thoughts on the accelerated cycle. It's a possibility. It's not what I'm leaning towards though, but I am going to account for it in my selling strategy.
I think people would love to see a video on RSI. Is it something that you've done before?
I have, but I've focused on the daily time frame.
Maybe a how-to would be nice. Like, just like, here's where I look at it. This is how you see it and read it. And if you do that, the other thing we could do is we could make that a live course too.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, it's easy. It's like, I don't even know how much time you could really put into it for a live course. It's a super simple indicator, which is one of the beautiful things about it.
I want to draw attention to 2 of Mashiste's comments. The first one is, when I see the yellow jacket again, I will know it's the top. So we'll hold off, but also secretly.
I'll go get it right now because I want to buy my last little bit of Moonwell.
Let us know.
I want my last little bit of Moonwell, guys.
Well, and then can I ask you? I'm curious to know, you know, if that's something you want to see, please do let Will know. I'm sure he would do it. And if it wasn't a live, I wouldn't. You might not need a whole live course on RSI, but it might be a helpful course to do indicators that we have known and loved. How to tell, you know, how to build conviction about the direction of markets. We could talk about interest rates. We could talk about RSI. We could talk about how to read basic charts, but we could also talk about non-chart related tools. You know, so if that's something you'd like to see, let us know. The best place to find out about courses and coaching is at the riseupmorningshow.com. We actually have one tomorrow. It's going to be how to spot. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say we should do a guest lecture with Kagan.
Oh, absolutely, we should. Magic Internet Money is the handle. Here on TikTok, mostly he's active on YouTube. We've had him on the show before, but he's a good friend of ours, and he is an excellent teacher, great technical analyst. And I agree. Let's do it.
He has found something better.
It's a top.
No, it's a romp him. It's a romp him, and it has a T-Rex with an AK, and he's in space. And hang on a second. Wait a second. Where's a good mirror for this? Is this the good mirror for this? No, need better lighting. Look at him. See, you guys, I am moving, I promise. It is happening. See, look. Yeah. And he's got a bandana, and he's shooting tracer laser rounds into space. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. And you can see there are flames. It's flames here. Look at that. Yeah.
William, two things. No, get back there. 2 things.
Oh.
1, what the hell? And 2, send me one immediately.
Tech CEO says he's got it in purple.
Oh, yeah? Hell yeah. Love that. Yeah, so this is just one of my favorite, although I will have like a fanny pack for St. Patrick's Day. I love this. It's a good St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
How, I want to know, did you change into that so fast? Like, not only did you manipulate the camera to get it off, you found that thing, got it out of whatever closet it's in. It must have been like literally on the back of your chair. Like you were planning to wear that.
No, this is my costume closet, as you can see.
Notice that he's moving, and his costume closet is not packed yet.
No, it's not. Well, the thing is some of my costumes are packed. In fact, actually, I think I can prove the costume box. It's underneath. It's in one here. That's the Warhammer 40K box. But anyway, it's there. There is a costume box, but I couldn't pack all of them up immediately because I need some of them. And also, I'm going to an ABBA-themed disco party on Friday, so I need the sequin suit. It's a full sequin suit, by the way. It's gonna be great. So I need my costumes.
Well, listen, man, I gotta say, it's styling and profiling, and like Amsfar said, oh, this is definitely Miami.
No, actually,
That's
it's
an
awesome.
outfit for Miami, dude. When it's hot in Miami, it's even hotter on the show if Will is wearing that outfit.
Although I would love to wear this in Miami. One of my favorite things is with my friend group in Miami, because none of them are from Miami, and they're all just like degenerates and idiots. And the thing is in Miami, it's such a culture of like, we got to look cool, but then like we'll just go to bars like literally wearing this stuff. And the Miamis are just so confused, and they see us having fun while they're just like trying to act cool, and they're like, but como like I wanted to have the fun, and we're like, nah, you gotta not look cool if you're gonna have fun, kid. You're not prepared for that.
No, nobody is prepared for that much fun. If you're not prepared for that, no. Rick says, I can't wait to see what he wears at Bitcoin Nashville. So I hope you have some fun outfits for that.
I've been thinking about my outfit, and I'm undecided on what to wear. It's got to be something comfortable. I run really hot, so I will sweat. I can't wear something ridiculous. It'll probably just be like one of my Star Wars shirts and like some shorts, or jeans, whatever. I don't know. It's gonna be something simple but nerdy. I'm trying to run that, run that line.
Machiste is going wild in the comments.
Rotate into your stables. It's over.
Yeah, I can't find my ledger fast enough. Oh, the top has come early. Everybody sell your crypto. It's over. Thanks a lot, Will.
Rick, no sports coat. I wore a sports coat to the last one in Miami, and then I wore a picture of Woody and Buzz Lightyear, but with Elon Musk's face on Buzz Lightyear and Dogecoin on Woody, and it was HODL, and it was just like Dogecoin everywhere, because it was the year that Dogecoin was really blowing up. And then I wore a sports coat on top of it, and then I was there, and I was just like, oh, everyone's in like a tank top. It's just like, it was Miami, and it was hot, and I was sweating, so,
Yeah. I mean, in crypto conferences, for people who don't know, you really can, I will say the dress code is wild. You really can learn a lot about people just by looking at what they're wearing. Like, you can definitely tell, like, this is a trust fund kid who got Ethereum in 2017 and, has their own trust fund now. This is like Bitcoin maxi. This is like a TradFi bro. This is like, I don't know. I remember, Alex, were you at the supercar room, or was I think I was alone there at that party. I remember we talked on the phone that night, though.
I wasn't there.
I was at the supercar room in Miami for a party at Bitcoin Miami a couple years ago. And this particular flavor of party was like, the kind you would expect at the supercar room for a crypto conference in Wynwood, Miami. It was like if the metaverse was a person. Mostly, I would say, people just who were very colorful, eclectic. And in the corner, there was this one guy who was wearing like a matching suit, like black top, black bottom, white shirt. He looked like Wall Street Central Casting, and he just looked lonely, like in a sad sort of way. And it wasn't because people were excluding him. It just looked like he felt like, I increasingly feel as I come on TikTok and everyone is younger than me, and I'm like, they don't accept me. I'm not cool anymore. So you just never know who you're going to run into at crypto conferences. That is maybe going to be one of the tamest outfits around, depending on the room, Will, is it?
My least favorite thing is running into all the Bitcoin maximalists. I think my disdain for Bitcoin maximalists and how annoying they are is at such a high, but I don't say bad things about Bitcoin because I believe in it. They're worse than what the XRP army was. They are worse than what the ICP community was at its height. They are worse than any other community are the Bitcoin maximalists. They're so annoying. Ugh.
Yep.
I will generalize all of them.
Prepare
knows what's going to happen to the price in reaction to the conference, but I will say historically the Bitcoin conference has been a place that people make big announcements. Like Lightning Network was announced at the Bitcoin conference. The El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as legal tender was announced there, and President Trump's going to be there. RFK is going to be there. Kathy Wood's going to be there. Edward Snowden's, videoing in, and Russell Brand will be there. So honestly, who knows? I would expect if there's going to be a big announcement, it's probably going to come from not necessarily one of them, but
no. And then I'm also personally expecting Javier Milei to have a surprise web in also, or web call in to let everybody know that they're going to recognize Bitcoin as legal tender. That's what I'm.
Right.
The same thing as what the guy in El Salvador did. I forget his name.
Yeah, that's Argentina, right?
Yeah, the president of Argentina.
I'm surprised that it hasn't happened already or more, just given that El Salvador's has been an unmitigated success. But it's about that time, and the Bitcoin conference is a great place to say it. Evan, I'm reminded of the only time I've ever met like a very singular specific person is when I met a Bored Ape whale at the height of the NFT bull run in person. And you could just kind of tell immediately he was wearing like a little kid's Lisa Frank backpack and then like sweatpants with Crocs and just I don't know, like a dress shirt with all of that. And he was just at NFT NYC. Or no, NFT LA a couple years ago. And we just got to talking, and he was like a very accomplished software developer. And then he also had like 60 Bored Apes. And this is when they were worth $250,000 a piece. So, like he was doing all right.
I hope that day comes back so I can sell that mutant ape.
Yeah, right. Somebody just sold a golden ape for 105 ETH. Which is, like more than $250,000. So
300. Yeah,
might
300.
I saw that and I was like, please, please,
pump my
I
bags.
want that Ethereum back.
Yeah, I just worry that Yuga too hard. They Yuga too close to the sun.
They did.
What have you been doing lately?
Trying to figure out what their next NFT collection is.
I honestly haven't heard the name Yuga Labs in months.
I've not heard it in a good way in months.
Hang on a second. There was an update in their Discord channel that I'm in that I just haven't looked at in a long time. Maybe it's something exciting. There was an announcement, and it's your last call to grab your 8Fest exclusive pre-order bundle. Wonderful. Fantastic.
Hey, what's Miggles?
Oh, dude, you don't know Miggles?
I don't know Miggles. I saw Machiste ask about it a minute ago.
That's the cat. That's the cat from Coinbase that I told you about the other day. What I was super excited about, but we didn't know the name.
I thought it was Mochi was the cat.
No,
that was speculation. That was all speculation. And now Coinbase released a commercial of this cat that's like super cute and like licking this little popsicle and like emojis and stuff. But what the commercial is about is like, hey, you can mint this entire commercial, and then you can take Mr. Miggles, you can edit Mr. Miggles, and then you can post that, and then if people mint it, you make the revenue. So it's a really cool experiment. Yeah. So you can go mint your Mr. Miggles commercial, make edits to it, create your own NFT, and if people want to mint it, you actually get revenue from it into your Coinbase wallet.
It's a neat little on-chain summer experiment drop kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm going to play around with it a little bit later today.
Am I too late to mint it?
No, you can still mint Miggles.
You can still mint it.
But she said, it's so 29 hours ago. I have never felt older quicker than trying to stay abreast of the crypto news. And I feel like I do pretty good, honestly. But okay, Mr. Miggles. What about you guys? Are you guys hip to blurbs? Somebody, I think it was our friend Focus Kid, asked about blurbs the other day. Blurbs on base. Have you seen that one?
And I feel like I looked into it, but there's so many things in the lives that I do.
Let me tell you, I actually really like this. Which is not to say I am endorsing it or that you should go buy it. What I like is they are introducing mechanics. There's always, Alex and I have this experience because we've been friends for long enough that we have talked about stuff in the crypto space for a long time. Like Grayscale just yesterday, Rocket Man was telling us they launched a AI index fund for crypto tokens where you can buy crypto tokens that are so-called AI cryptos in one like index fund basket. We've been talking about that. Alex, I remember you were like, oh yeah, when they start doing index funds for crypto, that'll be for years.
Yep.
Another thing that we have talked about a lot is doing multiple tokenomics. You've got an NFT that does this. You've got a fungible token that does this. You've got a token that you got to earn that's semi-fungible or whatever. Hyperinflationary, hyperdeflationary, more robust tokenomics. Blurbs is an experiment like that, and it's just an idea at the right time. It's getting some traction. It's a NFT collection. The only way to get this fungible token is to buy this NFT, and I believe you have to burn it for this token. Different people have done collections like this before. I think it's the first one, or at least the first notable one, getting attention on base. If you want an NFT back later, you can accumulate 90,000 tokens or something like that, and they'll mint you a new one. So it's like an interesting sort of back and forth dynamic mechanic that could potentially reduce the volatility of the token and grow the demand for the token over time, because it introduces a scarcity mechanic. The same way Bitcoin creates a scarcity mechanic with the halving mechanism, this could create a scarcity mechanic by introducing, like, you got to burn an NFT to get tokens. They've hinted that down the road they might release rarer NFTs that require more tokens to be traded for them. I just am interested in any project that is doing novel stuff with tokenomics to introduce people to the possibility that, like, it doesn't just have to be dollars and cents, or on the NFT spectrum, a JPEG that there are 10,000 of, and this one's rare because it's purple. Like, it's more imaginative than most things I have seen. If I had more ETH, I would probably just throw some at it. But I'm trying to get myself a verb, so
yeah,
it's cool.
That's my next agenda item. I would love to get one as well.
I will touch nothing that is not just straight crypto anymore after the mutant ape. that's like, nope, not. That sounds cool. Not touching it. That's great. Yeah. Just coins. Just give me pretend internet coins. Speculate on.
Speaking of pretend coins, Alex, you didn't call this token out in your video yesterday, but somebody asked about CTCTO. Boy, it's a mouthful. I'm curious, did you make that video yesterday about CTCTO among others?
It's included in the talk, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely included. We've heard of CTCTO, and the TLDR is, like so many of your favorite creator tokens, my friends, it's risky. It's risky. People are doing stuff that easily could be exposing them to all kinds of liability and risk. Any token that a creator has launched, which they are promoting to you from a public platform, is at risk of being labeled an unregistered security. It is exposing them to legal liability for market manipulation, for fraud, for giving unlicensed financial advice. And the concern you should have about any community takeover or creator token, if you decide to invest beyond those, is the control. If one person is creating, either because they hold the supply or because they are the platform, their face gives the brand its value, then you are expecting a return based on the efforts of others. And you are also doing trust me, bro. If I have the keys to the contract, if I have the keys to the marketing wallet, if I have an outsized impact on the success of the project, you are trusting me not to dump on you, to keep working, whatever. You are giving up the kind of control that we got in crypto for. I'm not saying you can't make money on it. There are some people who will absolutely make money, but you are investing in a story that harms all of us. And at best, we'll make a few people money while most people lose it. And we'll continue to proliferate this idea that, like, that's what crypto is. What do you got to add?
No, they're just bullshit. I'm trying to find a different way to say it. You don't need these things. Like, I think we're past the point where we need to just be like cranking shit coins out into the ether and like expecting all of a sudden it to be different. Look at every single one of these things. All of the big, and I don't just mean the TikTok ones. I mean, you know, the big celebrity ones. Look at the volume on Iggy Azalea's or Andrew Tate's or Jason Derulo's or whatever. Every one of those charts inevitably ends up in the same place where there's volatility, there's a pump, someone makes a shitload of money, and then these things peter out, and all of a sudden there's just no volume. And now go look at the 1 hour on Sage, on Hihi, on Soba. There's no volume, and there's no reason for these to come back, because they've served their purpose. The purpose is to be exciting for as long as possible, and to make the people who know how this works as much money as they can. And then they will just stop talking about them because they die. And if your only product is a token and your only strategy is hype, you're going to get tired because it's exhausting. And then all of a sudden people are going to realize, like, wait a second, it's all a fugazi and there's nothing really here. And there's no reason for this to exist. And the only point of this thing was to make money for a few people who got in early and who know how this works. And I don't believe for a second in fair launched influencer memes, because if I, with my limited developer and engineering experience, would know how to immediately get myself an early allocation in a way that would make it look like I did not give myself one, I could do that very easily. It's not hard. So I have no clue why anyone thinks that the other people wouldn't. Why they wouldn't do that. That's just how it works. And here's a good segue. So Erie, I would challenge you on that comparison, because the big difference here is just in the size of the group initially. So I'll concede that immediately, that these, like, an influencer could launch a token and theoretically it could go. Like, it could be used in other places. They could, get a liquidity pool set up with some sort of a DEX that gets some sort of special rate or something like that. I cannot even begin to imagine that ever happening. But with something like Bitcoin, it was not launched and given to people hyped. Like, if we take ourselves all the way back to the time when it was, released into the world, it was also not launched in the same way. Someone asked me this about Dogecoin. There was no drop, I'm going to drop the contract address and all of you guys get in early. It was like, hey, here's a thing, you can go mine it for yourself now. And then people just could start mining. Same thing with Bitcoin. It's like, hey, here's this thing, mine it if you want, use it if you want, do whatever, there it is. These things are like, I'm going to, whip everyone up into a fervor on social media, create this token, make sure that I am properly exposed, tell everyone else about it, let them pile in, dump on them, and then just keep the hype train rolling as long as I can to just continue to make more money. It's not even remotely the same thing.
Yeah, the incentives are way different.
The incentives are way different. The fact that these things are a dime a dozen, they're copy paste. If you take one of these tokens and go to Token Sniffer and you go all the way to the bottom on the profile page where they scan the thing for you, you can see something called similar contracts. And you can see just how copy pasted all these things are. There's nothing unique about them because there's 100 other meme tokens that have the same contract, nearly line for line. So, William, you look like you're on the verge.
Yes, I'm edging. No. So, sorry. But no, all I wanted to add on what you said is, if we could just reduce the number of cryptocurrencies that exists in the system, would be great. If I could just take an atomizer and just blast at least 5,000 to 7,000 of the cryptocurrencies that are in existence just out of existence, it would be better for the space overall, would clean up our image, and would we don't need just random people creating cryptocurrency. You can do whatever you like. If you want to go make something, go make something. But we don't need it. We need more really smart people and organized people making really cool stuff that's actually genuinely useful to help clean up the image of crypto. However, that's not reality, nor will it ever be. But you don't need people to make coins. We need people to make applications that are useful and easily accessible. And if it makes sense for a coin to be thrown into that, then sure. That's
I actually want to touch back on what Alex said about Mother. Do you know who had Iggy Azalea on their show for an interview recently?
Laura
My
Shin.
favorite podcast, Unchained, Laura Shin, our Space's leading legitimate journalist. And I listened to the episode because I was like, no way. I was leaning on Laura Shin to ask some difficult questions. And though she didn't go quite as far as I would have liked, she didn't specifically say, what have you done to ensure this project is compliant, legally speaking? She didn't press it the way I probably would have. It was a really fantastic interview, specifically because of the way Iggy Azalea, I was impressed with the way Iggy Azalea thinks about memetics, like memes as a medium for proliferating an idea that is different than anything else and is more than just a picture with a caption. Like her understanding of memes as a unit of communication and culture is advanced and sophisticated. And she has on retainer and consulted with some of the leading lawyers in any space. So I've got to believe that how she's done what she has done is compliant. And to be fair, I haven't seen the way she has talked about her token so much. I have it on my short list, though, as I hope to build a closer relationship to Laura Shin and Unchained. I think I'm going to jump in the Mother community Telegram and try to build a relationship with Iggy Azalea and maybe get her on the show. Pipe dream, but I'm manifesting it. So stay tuned. Because mostly I want her to talk about memetics. And I want to ask her, like, I heard you talk to Laura. I know you've got lawyers. Here's the situation with creator tokens. What are you doing? What are some of the things they have said to you that help you to sleep at night and not worry about going to jail? You know what I mean? I really would like to know that. But it's on Unchained now. It's the most recent episode, Unchained with Laura Shin. Not an official partner, not an official sponsor, but boy, they could be. I might be her #1 customer in terms of hours.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wrote her name down because I'm not really familiar with her stuff. So
they have the most relevant, timely guests of any crypto podcast in terms of, like, there's a news event. They had Eric Balchunas before the Bitcoin ETF was dropped. They had, I mean, you name it. You know, she's had everyone on that show. And she often has controversial guests. She's had Anthony Scaramucci. She did not ask him about the Killer Whale show that we love to hate, but she's great.
God, that show is so embarrassing.
I still haven't looked at it, but a show that wasn't embarrassing was the crypto battle thing or whatever that was going on last night.
Wasn't that fantastically fun?
That was so much fun. I had a great time with that. The chat was loving it. The chat was flying.
The chat was flying. The chat was loving it. We got to shout out Tech CEO to say, good job. It is hard to produce a live show. And I think for your first live show with so many moving pieces and so many people calling in, you did a really good job. And I had a lot of fun providing the soundboard. I think there's definitely an opportunity for a show like that to grow into providing great information that is also fun. I think it's tough to verify the veracity. We have this problem. We have guests on our show. We don't know what they're going to say. Some people made some unhinged comments last night, and there's not really a lot of good space to, like, call people out and check them. I'd love to see where that could come into play more. I lost a miniature battle where I talked about the illegality of creator tokens, and the audience was, like, voting on it and was like, "No, you're cool." So, you know, I think which is not to say that people shouldn't be able to express their opinions, but I think there's even more of an opportunity alongside the entertainment to tell a great story about crypto. But Lady Money helped with that. Mike, who's in our comments, helped with that. A lot of people who support our show made that show great. And they paid people. So way to go, Tech CEO. And thanks for trusting me to help. Well, you should join because more than anybody else I know, you would make one of those boxes on stage interesting with the best costume. Like, nobody in that box has anything on what I'm sure you could whip together on a Tuesday.
I would, but you put me into a confrontational situation and I'm just going to challenge people to a boxing match. I'm just going to be like, let's do this. I'm just like, I didn't like what you said. Let's do this. Let's put it live in the real ring.
And Tech CEO would probably be like, okay, chat, what's up? You want to see Will in a boxing match?
I'll grapple the shit out of you, bro. You're going to eat this chest hair.
In an effort to ground us here. So there's two mini conversations happening. in the chat that are worth bringing up. So first, Erie, I would say you are absolutely right to be skeptical, and you're in the right place. And so the concern from Erie was just, wants to invest, wants to be in a place where he's comfortable enough making an investment, but the volatility is worrisome. And I would say that you are absolutely correct. It is very volatile, and that is not to be taken lightly. And while it is extremely true that you can capitalize on that volatility to do quite well, as some people have, I myself am not a trader. I do not do technical analysis. I don't really know what I'm looking at when I see a chart. Like, I can get the basics, I can tell when enough to get like some basic information of it, but not to read a trend or make a legitimate prediction for myself or whatever. I don't consult charts really, except to say oh, this thing is going up only, I'm going to stay away from that because that's way more likely to go down. That's about the extent of my trading knowledge. So I would just say, first and foremost, prior to putting a penny into any of this, it's got to be money that you're comfortable with not having access to for a little bit, or that you are okay losing. And that's how everything has to start. That's a number that only you can decide for yourself, that only you can tell. You have to, figure out what's your financial situation look like. It might be $20, it might be $20,000. Everyone's situation is different. You also don't have to invest in anything. You can just learn about it. And there's actually a tremendous number of ways that you can get involved in Web3 and in this industry without buying anything, which I keep trying to talk about because I get conflicting comments all the time. This is sketchy. I don't want to buy anything. Great. There's all these different ways that you can get involved. And then those videos just flop because they're boring, because I'm not pitching a speculative gamble to people. So they're out there. You just have to look. And if you're willing to be a little bit bored, you'll crush in Web3. I swear. But no, you're definitely in a good spot. And then I would refer to you by name, but you don't have a username. Pip Shinobi has been, talking pretty relentlessly about Hex, and I think it's a good example of a couple things that we've kind of covered to summarize. I say this from a position of someone who doesn't hate Hex. I just happen to think it's a grift, and I have a lot of supporting evidence to back my claim up that it's a grift. Richard Hart falls squarely into the category of person who made himself the figurehead of something and is selling the value of it to you by, one, being condescending to everyone else, and two, just the fact that he is famous. He is a known grifter and degenerate. He is in legal trouble in multiple countries for doing shady shit with money. As long as you're comfortable with the fact that what you're doing when you gamble on something like Hex is mostly paying Richard, then, full send, best of luck to you. It is extremely possible to make money. You have no clue whether Richard Hart has sold on you. I'm sorry, you just don't know that. You can take his word for it, and that is your choice. But a couple things are absolutely true. The Sacrifice wallet, which was live for a long ass time preparing for Pulse chain, is the single biggest scam in crypto history, and it blows my fucking mind that the SEC has not done something about it or chosen to go after this in a more public way. If you're unaware, the Sacrifice wallet was a non-smart contract governed wallet that Richard Hart maintained control over, that intook literally billions with a B dollars worth of people's cryptocurrency under the promise of someday airdropping them a shittier version of the thing they sent him. So you could send him, I don't know, pick any ETH token, Uni. You could send him $100,000 worth of Uni, and that translated to, I'm just going to make up a number because I don't remember the exchange rate. Let's say, 20,000 Uni tokens. And he would take those and give you 20,000 Pulse Uni tokens. So his whole business plan was give me crypto that at least has established some sort of a foothold or some sort of a value that is out there doing its thing. I'm going to copy paste it onto a brand new blockchain and give you the copy, but I'm going to charge you the other one in return, which is insane. That makes no sense. And if you fell for that, look, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not wrong. I'm not sharing an opinion. I'm just telling you how the sacrifice wallet worked. It's all on chain. You can go look it up. There was no smart contract attached to it. It was just a wallet with a shitload of money in it. My opinion is that it's a grift. The fact is that it was an ungoverned wallet that just took in donations for a very long time under the promise of giving you more stuff in return. Hex has made people money, just like a lot of shitty crypto. And that's fine. Like, good luck. Good on you if you were able to capitalize on it. A tremendous amount of people lost a ton of money on it as well. Pulse Chain itself has proven to work. Like, it's a network. You can go build stuff on it. I personally know people who have built and launched projects on it. Good for you. Okay, that's cool. It doesn't change the fact that it was launched under one of the most shady, like, circumstances and scenarios ever, with the weirdest business model I've ever seen. It was the equivalent of Will saying he's going to launch Will Chain and just give him dollars and he's going to give you Will bucks back in return. And everyone's like, what the fuck is a Will buck? And he's like, trust me, it's going to be big. And then enough people are underwater on it that they force it to have value for as long as they can until they can extract whatever they want, and then they're going to leave.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Even if it was, let me ground you for a second. Even if it was a totally legitimate enterprise, I would encourage you to zoom out and think about the fundamentals. Let's presume for a second that it's total, that everything Alex said, just forget it. Look at the chart. Look at the number of holders. Look at the volume. Look at how long it's been here. Whether you're talking about Hex, ICP, HBAR, whatever, any token that's been around for a couple of years that has a chart that either, looks like this or like this, has a lot of people who bought here or who bought at one of these other peaks who are holding on to these tokens that are waiting for someone else to come in and sell them. And every token like that is going to have a higher bar that people expect it to pass, that it will have to pass to do anything to capture the requisite attention to grow in a market. They're going to have to build a better, bigger project. The level of scrutiny people examine those projects with, who know what they know, like who are savvy, who've been here for a minute, is way higher. And anybody else coming in is probably not experienced enough to know the difference.
Yep.
That's not the kind of product we want to invest in.
Just read your own comment. If Richard Hart says that 170,000 ETH will eventually be bridged to Pulse Chain, that's fantastic. If I had $1 for every time someone told me something would eventually happen for Hex, that's great. Here's another couple.
And that's not why we're in crypto, for trust me, bro.
These are not opinions. Again, these are facts. Go to Hex's website and just read it. I'm honestly tempted just to leave it there, but to save you the time, some of the things that you'll see, and I have videos going back 2 years about this. Not to say that like it's all bullshit or whatever, but like the text on the website should concern you. There's all sorts of disclaimers on that website that are just saying things like, disclaimer, Hex and Richard Hart does not certify that any of the information on this website is true or accurate. That's a like word for word. Huh? What's up?
No, you said disclaimer, will rob you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's just all sorts of really worrisome fine print. And yeah, I'll give you a pass. Would I like to make money here? Sure. Are there lines I'm not willing to cross to make money? Of course. You very clearly haven't been here before, and that's all fine. But no, genuinely, like I don't care about the money as much as I care about how I think all of this tech can be used to do all sorts of cool things to make people's money safer, not necessarily just grift on people.
Well, let's be clear, like you cannot build, if what you care about is the money, what you would be well served to do is spend time researching things you can verify, because that is what will allow you to build conviction. And anything else is frankly just gambling. If I'm asking you to trust me, bro, that is never going to be as helpful to you as a speculative investor as, look at how much supply this token has. I can see it on chain. The difference is Richard Hart's over here saying, trust me, bro, I've got this much supply. Satoshi says, just look it up. And anyone without any specialized experience can verify that what they claim is true. I don't know if you saw this recently, but speaking of grifters, Craig Wright has been forced to disclose on his website that he is not Satoshi. He did not write the Bitcoin white paper. It's only a matter of time before someone like Richard Hart gets caught in a vice like that too, and is forced to do the same kind of thing. It's
a good, very simple, easy general rule of thumb is that when you're in a bull market, which is when most people are coming in, if there's like a brand new coin, odds are it's not really doing anything, and it's going to be a coin that absolutely goes to zero. And the reason why they've timed it with this point of the bull market is because of money. All right, the money is the honey that brings bears, not in this case, market going down, but a predator to come in and take advantage of all of the little tiny minnows that are bringing their little tiny, much smaller paycheck in comparison to the amount of money that they have, and they're trying to scoop you up. It's the time for grifters to come into the market when you have new coins in. Odds are, far more often than not, they're a project that isn't really serious about the thing that they say they're going to do, and they just want your money. One nice thing about this cycle, though, is that we have way more meme coins who just say they're doing absolutely nothing, and then they rug you. But, at least they tell you that it's going to do absolutely nothing instead of change the world before they do. But, just a good general rule of thumb. If you're coming in at bull market time, as most people do for the first time, there's a brand new coin, odds are you might want to really research it really, really, really deeply, because very high likelihood that it's trying to screw you over and just be a money grab.
Yeah, so Pip, I can tell a couple things just about you from the way that you're writing. One, you've clearly been here for a while, and you have a much more in-depth understanding about how maybe some of this tech works, if what you're saying is true, that you mined Bitcoin for 8 years and blah, blah, blah. Great. You just sitting here and kind of pontificating and being condescending is about the least helpful thing that you could do. And if that's what you have to contribute to the broader ecosystem, you're not really helping or serving anyone. I guess you're just kind of here to make yourself feel better, and that's fine. The thing that you need in order to have a helpful conversation that's any kind of worth having for the people involved is the willingness to change your mind if you're being presented with new information. And I'm not saying you have to immediately agree with someone who disagrees with you. But what you do need to have is the ability to be reasoned with. So, for example, if your mind is made up about Richard Hart and Hex, and that's your daddy, which is what I'm getting from this, then good for you. I don't need to convince you to change your mind. That's fine. But you can bet your ass that I'm going to share, objective reality with everyone else who's watching this so that they have other context to make a decision with. And again, as I always say, and I'll give this one to you because you've never been here before, go fact check everything. Go read Hex's website. Go read the documentation. Go follow Richard Hart on social media and see the way that he talks to people and how he presents stuff. Go look up the Blockchain Explorer for the Pulse Sacrifice wallet and see how that went. Just pull the code and look it up yourself. Don't take my word for anything. I'm going to move on from this because we've talked enough about Richard Hart. Yes, go look at the audits, and then go look at who does what audits and their track records and what else they've audited and what else they've said about other things. Off you go. There's so much stuff you can read about Pulse and Hex and Richard Hart. There's plenty out there for people to, formulate their own opinions based on it. I've shared my opinion. I've shared a few facts. You have very clearly shared your opinion. I think we've put it to bed.
Yeah, it's a good conversation to have. I think a lot of people are
going on, guys. I just closed a very small deal, and I'll have about 4,500 extra bucks in a commission check coming in to go straight into the meme coin.
I love it, man. That's why Will has a day job, is because it's making him money. And it's the day job to crypto pipeline.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
They are his exit liquidity. That's the way to do it, man. Way to go, dude. Way to do it. I like what Pip said at the end. The best part is we're all still early. If you are watching the show for the first time, if you're feeling a little like this is insider baseball, like you don't know if it's for you, listen, we want to help you understand what's going on here from the beginning. We're not going to try and sell you anything. As you can see, we are quite skeptical. And we do not believe that there is a one-size-fits-all magic pill. Just buy this. If you ask us, what should I buy? We probably aren't going to tell you because we aren't you. We're not your financial advisor, but we do want to be your friends. We're here Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we've been here in the crypto space for a couple of years now. I think we're all the class of 2017. And so we don't know everything, but we do know that the fastest way to learn is to join a community of others where you can ask your questions, you can share what you know. It's the best way to accelerate your learning journey, especially in a space like crypto where there are people who want to separate you from your money. So join us on the show. Sign up for the newsletter. If you can't attend the show, it's the easiest way to get the best, briefest bullets, links, tips, tricks. You can sign up for a live course or coaching, and you can join us totally free in the Discord server where you can ask us a question or post a link in the general chat. It is the place the show lives 24/7, and you can find all of that stuff at the riseupmorningshow.com. The last thing I'll say for my commercial is we do have a course tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is like 4 p.m. UTC, 12 Eastern. And the course is how to spot and avoid some of the most common scams in crypto. It's going to be a video, Google Meet, like 90 minutes plus 30 minutes Q&A. If you can't make that live class, you can also get a copy of the recording. Anybody, anywhere can get into this class. Seats are limited. Recordings are not. And if you are a premium member, which I would recommend if you want to accelerate your learning journey, you absolutely don't have to. There's a free trial available. The reason I would recommend it is if you plan to take classes with us or get a coaching with us, the cost of your monthly membership will save you more than the cost of your monthly membership on every class and coaching. And the most expensive membership is $20 a month. So it's about as prohibitive as a Netflix subscription. But if you want time with us, that's the way to go. But you don't got to pay. You can sign up for free. Get the discount code, sign up for a class, cancel the membership, or just jump in the general chat, try it out. You don't got to pay a darn thing to come to the show. Learn what we know. Though it will maybe help Will replace his income and come be a crypto guy full time. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's my commercial.
Yeah, but also probably not, because you guys would have to give me
that's a lot of income.
A lot of money for a salary job. It would be Will, it would be a lot.
You could just voluntary hardship. It's good for the soul.
Right now, what we need to do is just convince Will that his health insurance is overrated. Okay.
Well, you have that, but then you also have, I won't say my salary, but a dollar amount that is a job that typically people retire in. You'll have to replace both those guys. So I'll put up a GoFundMe. You guys can send me that way. That'd be great. I'll accept crypto. You can send me whatever meme coins you want. I'll dump them immediately on the market, and then it'll be great. And I'll be one of those grifters. It'll be sweet.
I think cryptocurrency has caused more harm than good is a comment we just got in the chat. And I want to hear what you guys think about it because I wrestle with this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it absolutely unequivocally has. It is a good thing that brings out the scammers, to use a good tool for bad. But way more damage has been done to individual people, but that's the way of the world. That's the way of finance, That's you paying your tuition. I just hope it's not your entire life savings. That's horrible. But that is you paying your tuition to learn about crypto because you're playing in the world of penny stocks, of grifters, of scammers. And in between this pile of traps and crap and things that if you touch, you're going to get burned, there are jewels that can drastically transform industries. Whether it's CPG and supply chain, finance, entertainment, creation of art, gaming, just the global world of finance, monetary policy, can drastically change those for the better to make it cheaper, faster, easier, and more beneficial for everyday people. But all of that is buried underneath this mountain of, I think we have something like 19 or like 27,000 cryptocurrencies right now, the overwhelming majority of which are hot garbage at best, at worst, specifically designed traps to steal money away from normal day people. So because of the monumental mass of garbage that is in the crypto space, the majority of crypto has hurt normal day people. But the possibility and the benefit that it can provide to people, which it is doing today, is absolutely still there and is worth continuing to pursue because of what it can deliver once it gets more and more adoption. And when I say it, I mean things like Bitcoin. I mean things like blockchain-related technology like NFTs into industries that aren't just pictures of money, but they're actually like using legal documents and insurance and proof of ownership across industries to transform cash flow and give power back to individual people to stop getting grifted off of their data being stolen. Like, there's so much that can be done well for the benefit of the everyday person. But yes, more people have been hurt.
Yeah. I would say that it's one of those things that, you know, has started off real hot and heavy as a hotbed for scammers and grifters. Because like I always say, you know, this tech can do some really cool stuff, but it's also really increased the speed and efficiency of the vehicle that takes money away from you and puts it somewhere else. Which is, just like Will said, an unfortunate reality. And I completely agree with Mishiste's comment that money has done more harm than good in its entire existence, the history of currency. We can point out way more things that are bad about money than are good about money and currency. And until people start to pay attention to the stuff in crypto that is not just supposed to be a straight currency like dollar replacement, it's going to stay that way. But this is kind of, you know, one of those pet peeves of mine that I hear these concerns and these questions and these skepticisms, and I see zero effort from the people who hold them to find the different places inside of Web3 and crypto and blockchain as a whole where you can do stuff without paying for anything, without buying stuff, without having to participate in a Ponzi scheme, because they exist. But they're not as exciting because the possibility that you're going to make a 3000x overnight also doesn't exist there. And so that's boring enough to keep most people from looking at it. So if you have, you know, a skeptical view of the industry, I would say that you're correct to be skeptical. But I would also say that if you're not making an effort to look beyond that, that you're being narrow-minded. And that's fine. You know, you don't have to be here. No one's got a gun to your head. But the reality is that there are ways that you can use this stuff that are, I would say, very beneficial to society. And none of them have anything to do with paying into a Ponzi scheme. And to Will's point, CoinGecko indexes currently 14,900 cryptocurrencies. However, we also know that about 5,000 cryptos are launched on Solana every single day just by itself. So there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different cryptos all over the world. And 99.99999% of them don't necessarily need to be there. And I mean, I think, you know, if you've never watched us before, we're not like the typical, we're not like other girls.
We're not like other white guys.
You know, I don't like most crypto. I don't like the vast majority of it, but there's some really cool stuff. Blockchain itself is really cool, and you can do some really cool stuff on it. I was talking to Nathan in his comments yesterday. He made a video about AI crypto, and I, you know, pointed out that, you know, marked safe from AI by a token is a cool idea. And he was like ready to fight because he thought I was about to shill him on an existing project. I was like, no, I don't like him, dude. I don't like him either. I'm just saying there's a way for it to work. So I don't know. I mean, be skeptical. Question all of it.
Be skeptical.
But,
And I want to just speak to some of these comments. This whole conversation this is my favorite conversation to have in crypto. And I think it's the most helpful kind of conversation because it can illustrate why beyond the money, the hype, the speculation, what we're doing is maybe meaningful to other everyday people. There is nothing that I know of. And I have looked pretty considerably that allows a piece of computer code, a piece of software to govern the hardware it lives on. A piece of computer code that can make commitments is a novel innovation in the history of the internet and the history of humanity that for the first time allows us to have confidence that different people in different places will align their incentives with ours on the internet and do what they say they are going to do. We no longer have to trust them. And this is an innovation not just for money, but it is an innovation for human coordination and the ability, therefore, to create tokens that give a tangible form to intangible things that can attest to these things in a way that is different and I would argue better than traditional money. It is an innovation that is on par with language, with money, with the printing press, with the internet. And it is going to affect pretty much every industry where anybody has to rely on the commitment or trust of another person. It's going to allow us to replace human intermediaries with computers who can do their jobs better. At your bank, at your grocery store, at Viacom, I could just go on and on and on and on. The same way that the calculator has displaced paper and pencil in many places where folks rely on math. It is a whole new medium. And the possibilities for it have yet to be written. And I think the most important thing we can do is tell that better story so that people can see how, beyond money, this might actually be something, if we make it, that could help the world. And for people who want to participate in that conversation and they're just learning, we talked about this earlier, Coinbase Learn is what Alex mentioned. But I would also recommend, if you want like a course, while we work on building out our course library, if you're not a Discord person, a great place to start would be Gary Gensler, SEC chair of all people, has a fantastic course about blockchain available for free on YouTube that he taught at MIT a couple years ago. The information may be a little outdated, but a lot of it is still very relevant. And if you want a more recent source, I really don't think there's a better teacher out there right now, more prolific or available to people than Chris Dixon. He's the lead Web3 partner at A16Z. He recently wrote a fantastic book, Read, Write, Own. It looks like this. It's super accessible. It's not terribly long. And it is the best big picture breakdown. If I could make it required reading, I would. If you want to buy the book, I have an affiliate link. You can probably get it at your library. But you can also just Google Chris Dixon and hear him on many different podcasts. He's been on the Tim Ferriss Show. He's been on Rick Rubin's podcast. He's been on the Bankless podcast. And every conversation I have ever heard him in helps me understand in a simpler but also deeper, broader way why what we're doing matters. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. My highest recommendation.
Chris Dixon, I'm pretty sure he's biased due to financial conflicts.
He's absolutely biased. He is 100% biased. But nobody, I'm an actor. That's my craft. That's how I learned about and related to the world for the last 3 decades of my life. Nobody is such a good actor, and no incentive is so strong that they can show up so consistently in as many articles, media appearances, whatever, and not slip up. You know what I mean? Like if it's a mask that somebody is wearing, you will see behind it at some point if they are public enough. And also, the kinds of things that Chris says are verifiable. He is helpful in the information that he shares. You can go Google it and see whether or not it's true for yourself. It is the most helpful kind of biased teacher. Everybody is biased. All information is persuasive and is designed to influence you, even if the speaker believes that is not their goal. So the best thing you can do is find teachers who are sharing information that is verifiable or disprovable. And Chris does that well.
Well, guys, any other big topics we want to cover here today?
No, usually this is the day we go do our Discord stream, and I was going to say if we want to shift over to there, we got to do it soon. I know you probably have to go because you got to work it up.
How are you going?
So I would give you the last thought, good joke, word, or wisdom if you want to close out our stream, brother. What do you think about it?
I just updated the Discord channel, so I'll let you guys know here too, for those of you who aren't in it. But I'm not buying my last little bit of Moonwell. Granted, you guys remember, I'm like 99.8% into the market right now. So the last little tiny bit, I'm going to go into well. Although I just got some cash again that honestly I should probably use towards like the sofa and the bed frame and the art studio. And there's other things I'm trying to do for my place that I'm moving into at the end of the month. But anyway, I'm going on a side tangent. Moonwell is what I'm looking to buy with my last little bit of cash I have set aside. I'm going to pause again today for my last DCA into it. Will, get your ass to Nashville next week. Josh, I'm going to be there, dude. I'll send you a note. I want to try to connect with you and DeFi Daddy and a few other folks. But I'll be there. Do you want me to wear this onesie with a cat shooting an AK-47 on top of a dinosaur?
Obviously, bro.
Obviously. Great. I think it'll be great. I'll be dressed more normally. Anyway, final thoughts. I'm waiting for my last DCA into Moonwell. I'm waiting to see Bitcoin correct a little bit. I think we're due for like a few days of corrections, you know. Bring a bulletproof vest. Yeah, I probably should. It would look good. It'll make me look buff underneath the romp hem, honestly. But yeah, so that's the update. Just want to let you guys all know what I'm doing with my money. The last little tiny bit of cash, I'm going to buy Moonwell. Haven't done it yet. Waiting to see Bitcoin cool off, and then find the level of support, and then put that last little bit of cash in. So that's it. Otherwise, guys, you know, don't just throw your money into a coin because I or Alex or Evan say we think it's great, or someone else thinks it's great. Make sure you do your own research. You know, try to learn about how to research cryptocurrencies and like what kinds of things are good. I've learned for free. I've learned from people like Coin Bureau on YouTube. He's great. I've learned from people like Invest Answers on YouTube. Also great. I think we're sources of good information, but we're obviously biased about how good we think we are. I also, and you can go learn this stuff for free, right? They're great people. If you want a rubric from me, there is one available on my links. It does cost $20 though. You'll get an immediate rubric from me on how to look and invest and not invest, but investigate cryptocurrencies and what kinds of things are good and bad, warning signals, maybe good positive things. But again, you don't have to do that. That'll probably accelerate your path to being able, it will definitely accelerate your path to being able to research cryptocurrencies on your own and protect yourself from falling into a rug pull or a scam. But you can learn this stuff for free, okay? So, you know, that option is available to you. So long as you can find some trusted people who genuinely want to help you and not get money off of you. And that process can take time. I would say it probably took me 2 years of being in crypto to like, first I started watching some people that like really did not have my best interests in heart and some people that were really bad. And I ended up just kind of finding some good people through just like my algorithm starting to feed me more and more people you could kind of just like sift through the bullshit on your own. But anyway, I hit a bunch of other stuff in there past my little update. But that's it, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be healthy. Go outside. Get some sun. Have some good food. Be around good people. Love some people. Be loved back. All that good stuff.
That was inspirational. Thank you, Will. We love you, man. And we'll catch you in the Discord, okay?
Okay, bye-bye. Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye now.
So as we round this out, let me invite you, if you're not, Alex, do you have a little time? We'll do a subscriber only in the Discord. We'll get a little frisky over there. Yeah.
For a few minutes, sure.
For a few minutes, sure. Okay. Then if you want to join that party, this is something we started doing every Thursday so that the people who are in our Discord can have a chance to ask us a question voice to voice. We can rotate you up and down from the stage. You can send a link, none of this character limited crap here, and you can get to know other people who are in the community better. That is the fastest way to accelerate your learning journey. So we'll leave this stream open for just a minute or two so that you can grab the link. It's in my profile, it's in Alex's profile, and it's at the riseupmorningshow.com. And if you are not, do please give us a follow because it will help make sure you come back and that you do not get taken advantage of by scammers. We have many impersonators. I will never, Alex will never, will never reach out to you with an investment opportunity, with free money, with a how is your trading going, bro, or anything like that. That is a scam. We're going to talk about it in the course tomorrow. But what you need to know for now is that if you want to stay safe, you really should follow us so that we can have a connection with you. If you're a regular, we're going to follow you back and make sure that if we need to get in touch with you, we will let you know first. We'll probably do it on the Discord. That's the best place to go, the best place to do it. Thank you all for tuning in. Christian, I would love to continue this conversation. I suggest you start by checking out some of the recent videos in my profile. If you want my thoughts, I would love to hear yours. Everybody else, thank you for being here. Alex, do you have a thought to send us off into the sunset before we jump into the Discord stage?
No thoughts. Not a thought behind these eyes, just vibes.
Not a thought. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Stop buying influencer coins.
Don't buy influencer coins, that's right. Don't create them either. Get yourself a lawyer if you're thinking about it. And not financial advice, but when Will starts spending all his money on costumes again, we probably hit the top. Thank you, my friends, for a great week of shows. Stay safe. Stay well. We'll see you in the Discord. And until next time, everybody,